Welcome again to Manufacturing Talk Radio. We're at the New Jersey Manufacturing Extension Partnership event, which is a celebration of Manufacturing Day here on October 5th, but it actually goes all month long. Every year, the first Friday is Manufacturing Day in October, but there are events that take place in every state in many countries for Manufacturing Day, and we're thrilled to be at the New Jersey event. We are here with your name tag disappeared, not fair.
Carl Mazzanti. There you go.
With Carl Mazzanti from eMazzanti Technologies, one of the Innovators of the Year finalists here at the NJMEP event. And Carl, tell us a little about eTechnologies, and then Lou's got a question for you.
Sounds great. eMazzanti Technologies has been in the manufacturing space now for 17 years. It's by far our deepest vertical. For many, we are their IT provider. For some, we go up a vertical stack. That vertical stack could be everything from controlling their manufacturing line or securing it, to connecting multiple site locations, to getting information out of the manufacturing process so business decisions can be made.
Essentially data collection so that you can improve your processes and so on.
Yeah, information stream out of what is now IoT. That's the buzzword.
Right.
Is you.
So many buzzwords.
There are lots of buzzwords, you know, and we in the IT industry we always choose 3-letter acronyms to make us feel smart. But Internet of Things is that concept. And really, what we've always had sensors. So what's the pressure? What's the temperature? Is it coming out with a quality of product? But now delivering it back to you, how long the machine was running, how much product is being produced? Are you seeing wear on the belts or line going through? So you now need to do predictive maintenance. Can we do? Every manufacturer at this event has downward pressure on pricing and what their costing is to their end consumer. So they have to do more than with less, even while you're still increasing salaries across all of the people that are the workers in your workforce.
This is software. Does it also alert you as to when your equipment needs maintenance and servicing and such?
So we're agnostic. The customer can be using any manufacturing line. They could also be using, Macs, PCs, Linux, Unix, AS400s. We'll generally support them all, and that's what we'll find in the 10,000 odd manufacturers in the state of New Jersey. We don't custom design the software, but really we try and take what their existing investments are and get a little bit more out of it.
And modify it accordingly.
For whatever it is to solve the business need.
So do you sell your product and or service throughout the country?
We do. We have offices in Montreal, Guatemala, Bellevue, New York, Hoboken, New Jersey. We have staff in Lancaster, Florida, Rome, Thailand, India, San Francisco, and Houston, Texas.
I didn't know those were all cities in New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. But
Bellevue is.
well, what's interesting is the manufacturers now have to do multiple shifts. The times when you could close at 5 o'clock and just reopen the next day are almost completely gone. One of the manufacturers today was so excited about the fact that they run 2 10-hour shifts and all of their systems are running better. Rather than the setup and tear downs that were causing problems along the way, they operate through the whole week with 10-hour shifts, and they're getting better productivity.
So you're servicing companies that have dark lights out manufacturing processes?
Yes.
And Carl, I know that one of the challenges manufacturers have, not every manufacturer has the most up-to-date, modern, slick stuff.
Yep.
Do you deal with legacy systems as well?
We absolutely do, and we know how to protect it. When you purchase a manufacturing line, the software at the time was the best of what was available.
Right.
And usually there are no longer future upgrades to it because they've moved to the next line or the next version of what they have, or it doesn't justify the investment. So if the line is operating, we can find a way to put a wrapper around it so you'll still be able to produce. You can still deliver on time. You can still expect that when you left on Friday and you come in on Monday, everything still operates the way you left it. And beyond that, we can find ways to tie in some of the vendors. Maybe the vendor we can now give access. So if there is something that comes up, they can do it. They can monitor and make suggestions. None of those things were necessarily possible.
Right.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about bringing back either XP or Windows 3.0.
Yeah.
When it really worked
128
super well.
kilobits of RAM. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I know. Well, some of the stuff today, though, you have artificial learning. You have the ability for it to take the data streams that are coming and to make decisions. So you don't have to rely on Bob necessarily to make that decision, or Gloria, who's been there for 20 years. You can build in that knowledge or information set so the decisions take place automatically, and the Bob and Gloria can add value in different ways. They don't have to do a redundant task any longer or a repetitive task.
You mentioned putting a sensor on a sensor.
Oh, yes.
What's the sensor on a sensor?
I know, if you looked at 20 plus years ago, everything was centralized. And you had lots of pieces of paper moving around the manufacturing floor to say, this is what I'm producing, this is the customer order, what did we make, and then there were check boxes and and it would keep going through the process that way. Then all of a sudden you could connect all the manufacturing equipment, so you could have one computer and an operator or someone who ran traffic through the manufacturing facility. Then all of a sudden what ended up happening is you started to get these IoT devices that were feeding in more and more information. Well, now all those connected devices, they're accessible from anywhere in the world. So they become attack vectors. So the challenge that a lot of the manufacturers are running into is that you have this attack vector, no one's paying attention to that IoT device or the manufacturing line that's delivering information. So we can now put a sensor that monitors the stream of data that comes out. If this line only cuts a box, if this line is only doing labeling of something, the information set that's coming out is very specified. And once we learn that, anything that's outside of that pattern means the node's got a problem. And we can start to alert off of it so you can do something about it.
Right.
But that it's now been compromised, we need to pay attention to this item before someone chooses to just shut them down. A theme today when I spoke at the conference was about the fact that there were multiple manufacturers that were there in that session that had been down for days. If you think of there's 52 weeks a year and 2% of your revenue comes from 1 week, most of these firms, the best run firms, make 2%. Maybe they make 3%. If you shut down a line for a week, you exhaust and burn out your staff. You miss your orders. You've lost 2% of your revenue, which you could never get back.
Right.
Then the income you have to spend to try and replace or fix the problems of the loss of the 2% of revenue, multiple firms, they just can't survive that.
And all you're doing is
Getting back to
doubling
where
and
you were.
duplicating your loss.
Yeah.
Wow. So you provide solutions for that.
We do.
Fix
Completely.
messes.
And we're very capable of walking into a manufacturing business and saying, well, what are your inputs? And it may not be the systems you use. It may not be the computers, but it could be the people.
Right.
The post-it notes with the passwords are sitting on top that it just happened. And people auto-save things all the time, or they're emailing it around amongst each other. It doesn't have to be malicious intent. It could just be something that's really simple.
Yeah, you've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So when you walk into a manufacturing plant who's not all that savvy to what's going on, IoT, do they even understand what you're talking about?
Most of them do, and it's even more so they've had an experience. Because once they've had the experience, they're calling us, or they're referred by someone else. We don't have to go to a place, solicit, knock on a door, walk in and say, hi, my name is Carl, I'm from eMazzanti Technologies, I want to talk to you about something. Usually we're getting the phone call because someone else said, oh, this happened to us, here's who you need, and they're going to get you out of trouble very, very quickly. They're responsive, they're knowledgeable, they know our industry, they've got experts on staff, and they're ended up calling us. So by the time we're going in, we're usually fixing or addressing, what could be a human problem, could be a process problem, could be an operation problem, it could be their infrastructure, maybe they're considering moving and they just want to do it right this time.
How about giving us your URL? Because I got a feeling there may be.
Oh, that lots of people want to.
Yeah.
www.eMazzanti.net, and you most certainly could always email me, cmazzanti@eMazzanti.net, or call 844-360-4400. We're open 24 hours a day and ready to respond.
For the sake of those who are poor spellers, can you give us the
spell
spelling?
it. Sure, that totally makes sense. E as in Edwards, Mazzanti, MAZZANTI.net.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
appreciate
having
your
me.
Being on the show for a few minutes. Hope that somebody will contact you to make your time worthwhile.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, Carl,
Thank you for this opportunity.
I always appreciate you being here. I always say there's two kinds of users in the world: those who have lost data and those who will.
I know.
Thanks for joining us.